Hey guys, this is Matt with Trail Vagabonds. We're here with another van build video. Today we'll be installing MAXXFAN Deluxe Fans, and we'll have one in the front, one in the back, so it'll hopefully have this nice cross ventilation all through the van. And with our T-vent windows and our slider windows, hopefully that ventilation will just keep a nice consistent temperature, help with moisture control, and keep us comfortable. I have a couple of the tools of the trade here on the table. I will walk you through what I'm using, when I'm using it as we go. So hopefully you find this video helpful. Come along for the journey. I'm a little stressed out that I will be cutting holes in a brand new van, but it has to happen. First thing I'm doing is measuring out from the ribs how to center it in between the roof pieces. So you definitely don't want to cut into the supports. So what I figured out was from this brace, 10.5 inches in will give me a good base to have the 14-inch cut come and be right in the middle of this. But from the end here, I'm gonna measure in 5 inches, and that'll give about the 15 inches needed with a couple inches of space. So hopefully that'll do. One of the things that's suggested is putting up a hammock so that you catch any of the metal shavings. So I just have this plastic that I had from insulating the shed in the past. So I'm just going to place that up as the hammock over the hole. All right, both hammocks are up. Now up to the roof to make some measurements and then some cuts. Okay, as I said, this was that inside piece. I'm measuring to 10.5 inches. The nice thing about this adapter is you can center it and it doesn't move. So now I basically just need to take my trusty Sharpie, make sure to measure one more time, and then just inside of the bracket. So I think my plan here will be take the small drill bit, drill into all the corners, take a 1/2 inch bit, bore that out a little bit further, and then I'll be able to fit in the jigsaw's bit. Moment of truth. Alright, here we go. See how this... Actually, I'm going to tape off first so that the outside edge I'm not dragging. Alright. All right, so as you can see, with the rust, I scored the edge, and I also put some Rustoleum around that edge just to make sure no rust happens. I have a friend who might be bringing a shop back because there's all sorts of metal shavings that come off, and definitely you want to get those off or else you'll have rust issues and scratches. So I'm going to start drilling in for the next fan hole, and then we'll hopefully start putting on the glue and stuff, or the adhesive, 3M adhesive. So we'll see how it goes. Next up, I'm going to pull that tape off, and then I'm going to file the edges. And then I'll go around the edge of that with that scouring brush. So there are all sorts of chip paint. You can see the white in there. I mean, basically that whole edge is just sheared through the metal. The goal is to cover with that Rustoleum any of that exposed steel so that there's no rust. I mean, once, you know, oxidation happens, you're not going to be able to stop that. So any of that, basically that whole edge, you want to get the Rustoleum on. And I've been using the adapter on the first one. I use the adapter to help me not get it too far onto the roof of the van, which, you know, you have that inch to play with that's going to be covered, but, you know, don't want it to be streaked all over the place. So one of the things I suggest is before you continue on is make sure your adapter and the outside flange fit, because this outside flange has this edge that needs to go into the van. If for some reason there's an edge stopping it from sitting flat, then you know you need to trim down some of that metal still. But this looks like a good fit, so we'll continue on. So for the window weld to be put under the adapter, the suggestion is 1/4 of an inch around. You tape it, and then you'll be able to pull off a nice clean line. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, window weld. So 3M window weld. It'll be going around the adapter so that this is sealed in. And in 15 minutes I'll pull off the tape. But this stuff's pretty toxic, so I'm gonna have a mask and I'm gonna wear gloves. Yeah, exciting. All right, day 2. I'll probably film outside, but you probably won't be able to hear me all that much. There's people leaf blowing, there's people roofing their house next door, so, but got all of the contents of the MAXXFANs out and looked through. We have the flanges outside. I already taped them. I'm going to put butyl tape on them, and then we're going to put Flex Seal over that. So hopefully everything will go smooth. I was a little bit worried about the adhesive last night, but I did talk to Hayne from DIY Van, and he did say that you want to make sure to put Flex Seal all around that whole entire seal and the adapter, so I'm not as worried about water getting in now. So, boom, great. Let's get to it. So I just brought up the flanges to see that they fit again, make sure they were both fitting on both adapters. Next step is this whole thing will be lined with butyl tape. That'll make a nice, adhered and watertight seal around the fan flange. There were some provided screws by DIY Van that I'll use on all the 4 corners, and then I'll fill in the rest of them with the fan screws provided by MaxxAir. We got a nice seal all around the edge with that butyl tape. The edges kind of just turn them in. There was a little bit extra, so I kind of put those over the edges for the screws. And we'll just plop it in and make sure it's centered up all nice. Alright, and one of the suggestions too is to drill into the fan, to drill into the adapter, so that if any of those screws do get into the roof of the van, it's not pushing the fan flange out. Alright, next up, any of that butyl that's hanging out, you just want to cut it off. For the last part, flex seal. I bought black because we have this granite gray ProMaster. So I'm going to put black all along this flange. Basically the green is what's stopping it. So. Last night, after we put on the flex seal, the next morning it rained and it was wet the whole day. So covered the van with a big tarp. Seems to have done the trick. I'll go ahead and take that off, and but I definitely want to put on another coat just to make sure all the waterproofing, from any of those seals is good. And so we'll get up there, put on another coat, let it dry overnight, and then install those fans. So let's get to it. Got that second coat on. Definitely, first coat you could definitely see the screws quite a bit, so I did my best to try to keep big blobs over the screws. So hopefully those would be covered without any issue. Just wiping them, or actually just vacuuming with the plastic hose connector, kind of exposed some of those screw tops a little bit. So we'll see. Maybe I'll want to do another coat. There's a chance maybe I'll just pull the tape and deal with it, and if it scrapes any, then I'll add a coat later in the future. But yeah, for now I think today was a success. Probably put the tarp back on because I think it's supposed to rain again tomorrow. Of course, this wonderful North Carolina weather. But from there, all we gotta do is install those fans. We just plop those in, that'll be the next thing, and then we'll be done with this project. So yay. Good morning. I'm gonna finish my coffee, then we'll get up on the roof and we'll double check that second coat of Flex Seal did the trick. We'll install the fans, and then hopefully we'll have a waterproof seal. Let's go check out the flange. I think it looks pretty good. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is some of these weird bubbles, but I don't think that's something you could really do too much against with this Flex Seal. And around here too, just like layers of it you can see, but luckily we're going to rip that tape, and hopefully some of those layers will be kind of ripped away, so it looks a little bit more smooth. But all in all, if we went back over it, we could probably fix some of that. Got my trusty blade. I'll go ahead and try to scour off some of the extra stuff. I probably should have done that to begin with, so maybe I would suggest doing that yourself. So, for the fan, we're supposed to open it up. Alright, that gives you access to those side holes. And they go into these metal pieces on the side. Fans are in. The metal screws here, there's a little metal piece inside the flange, and if you don't adjust it up high enough, you won't be able to get the screws in. I don't know if it was just the way I had my adapter adhered in, if it was just off a little bit or bent a little bit. It was pretty difficult to get the fan in, but finally did it. I just popped up those metal springs a little bit, and all the screws ended up seating. So fans are installed. It's done. Woohoo!
Well, everyone, that's going to do it for this episode in our van build series. Thanks so much for following along with the fan install. In future episodes, we'll be hooking the fans up to our electrical system and installing the ceiling garnishes, so stay tuned for those episodes coming your way. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment below with any questions you might have for us, and let us know if there's anything that you did differently in your build. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great week, and see you on the next one.
How'd you get up there, Frankie?